one, and number two, lived in close proximity to one another. We don't have a connection between the three victims other than that.
We have a question from Kimber at KITV. How did you folks identify Baker as a suspect? What leads did you folks receive?
And we're not able to discuss that at this time.
Sorry, that was a question from Ali'i Duklo at Hawaii News Now. Ali'i was asking, how did we develop Baker as a suspect? Kimber at KITV is asking, what are the active search efforts currently underway at this time?
So we have significant resources out in the Puna district following up on leads where we feel the suspect may be. We cannot disclose at this time exactly what methods we're using to search for the suspect as he's still at large.
An additional question from Kimber KITV. Is there a message for Baker if he is watching this?
Absolutely. If the suspect is watching this, we would like him to contact the police, turn himself in, and don't risk any further harm to anyone else or himself. Just come in. He can surrender to the police, and that would be my message.
An additional question from Ali'i Duklo at Hawaii News Now. Can you folks clarify, is Daniel his middle name? And if not, an additional last name?
I believe that to be his middle name.
Okay. And then a question from Kelsey Walling from Big Island Now.
Last question from me. Is the suspect known to have any sort of firearm or weapon that you guys can share? Any known by the police?
Yes, we don't know him to have access or to have a firearm. A firearm was not used in any of the three homicides, but he could always get access to one later. But as far as we know, we don't have any information to that effect.
Chief Madeline Valera from Civil Beat is asking, why do you believe Baker is responsible for all three killings?
We are not able to disclose what investigation led to that. However, it was our investigation led to us being able to put together that he is a suspect in all three. We can't disclose that at this time.
And one more question from Bryce Moore at KHON2. What makes police believe three homicides are related?
These things are coming in factories now. We see
throughout our investigation, we determined that they are connected. We cannot disclose at this time the evidence that we have that connects the three or the method that we use to get that information. But we are confident that the suspect here is responsible or involved in all three homicides.
A question from Tiffany DeMasters. Big Island Now. Are police investigating death threats against a woman who filed a restraining order against
So your answer to everything is control.
I'm not aware of that.
A little box and never talk about
it. Okay,
ridiculous.
If there are no further questions,
I thought this was a perfect explanation. It's roach charring.
Granger offers professional grade products, easy ordering and next day delivery, making them the go-to play for everyone keeping arenas game day ready.
So by her logic, every business built using roads, electricity, schools, or the internet belongs to all of us. Using public infrastructure doesn't erase private ownership. The people who build, invest, and take the risks own the result. What she's really saying is, if something becomes successful enough, politicians should get to redefine ownership. Bingo. And invest in people usually means transferring more control and wealth to the political class. So again, well, not only is that perfectly correct, which is why I read it, but why is it that Bernie is doing AI doomerism constantly? And by the way, there's the horseshoe theory of politics. Tucker is doing
Alexa, play 104.3.
You cannot stop progress. You can be wary of it, and I would say you should do what we're trying to do, literally with my team in this studio. I have Joseph over here, and he's kind of leading us on
Alexa, volume 5.
next week to all go through Claude and figure out how to help everybody's tasks, right? We're working with some of these places that are creating some of the AI things, and we're going to start incorporating some of them. There'll be ways that we can do clipping and various things. You know, we did AI Dave last year, and we're going to expand on that. Like,
in this article,
treat it as a means, not an image. Like, it's a tool in your toolkit. But for anyone that thinks, okay, it's inherently evil, it's run by bad people, well, that's not going to stop it. And taxing ain't going to stop it either. That will just crush innovation. So stop being so bland and boring. I don't like it. I was watching a bunch of videos last week of Jeff Bezos on CNBC, really pushing back on communism, trying to explain that the 1% already pay half the taxes and the rest of it. Here's one more from that clip that now subsequently to AI this week is going viral. It's Bezos talking about how AI will actually create
I think there's so many people who are afraid that AI is going to take their job. I think that there's going to be a labor shortage as a result.
I don't know if you saw Eric Schmidt gave a commencement address over the weekend.
Yeah.
And the students were booing because every time you mentioned AI, they were watching because I think they're deeply fearful and worried about whether they're going to have a job.
Yeah. Well, and the reason they're afraid of that is because all these smart people keep saying that. So there are so many smart people, and they are smart. And they're saying, oh my God, you know, there's going to be no more radiologists because, you know, AI can read x-rays better than a radiologist can. And there are going to be no more software engineers because AI can program better than a software engineer can. These people are wrong. So what's really going to happen is that it's going to elevate all of these people, and there's going to, it's like you've been digging. Let's say you're a software engineer, right? What is the analogy I'm giving you is you've been digging out a basement of your house with a shovel, and somebody's about to hand you a bulldozer.
knows how. You know what this is starting to feel like to me? It's starting to feel like it's climate change. You know, now that climate change is not flying anymore, right?
I don't know what he did.
Realized
First
earlier,
person
he said we have 12 years, 8 years
hacked
ago.
up the second person.
Al Gore, they all said the sky is falling and the sky isn't falling. And yes, we all want clean air, but it's not. That's not. You don't give up your very existence to the government so that they can clean up the air, as if they can clean it up, or as if America needed something that it would stop Pakistan and China and India and all these other countries from putting all the carbon in the air and all that stuff. But it's starting to feel the same thing because, you know, they created one of the reasons that the young generation now is so filled with anxiety and everything is they were fed for decades the doomerism around climate. The world is going to blow up, everything's going to be on fire, we'll all be underwater, all of these things. Because that's not playing anymore, right? It doesn't feel that important anymore. We're not talking about it. People realize it's suppressed of it. They're moving on to the next tourism because all they have is fear. So it's interesting what they're saying there is at this conference, at this commencement speech that Schmidt gave, that every time he brought an ad, they're booing. And it's like, how sad. It's so sad what they've done to young people in that sense. Like, they should all be like, whoa, how cool, I can do all these, whatever it is that I want to do. I have all these tools to now help me do it. I want to be a movie writer.
There's another part here where
I have all these incredible things that can help me come up with stories and invent all the technical versions of it. And how it's going to my macros. Bezos points out, once they're doing that, really you're just helping the political class. Another guy who's really been leaning on the white pill version of this is a guy I play videos of all the time, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, who's building all these AI data centers, and he's leaning in.
These napkins are
Here he
just
is
elegant.
talking about the
They're surprisingly affordable and perfect for a Wing Wednesday. Then and every day.
he said there's something wrong here.
The path to a college degree
There's
is
a massive
affordable.
influx of demand.
With Sophia Learning, you can take real college-level courses that are designed to enroll online
Not
for
smaller.
$99 a month. Start your free trial. No credit card required. Sophia
Next
Learning.
morning, we started working with a very advanced science team.
So, of course, a couple hours later,
What we learned
that
was
two kids,
shocking.
children among the four field, two kids,
Lo and
were
behold,
found shot, and two adults, unalive.
multiple filings, multiple entities, all over the world, all going back to something called
The victim was described as a
Alabama.
man and woman, both between 25
Neville Singham, under
But the children
investigation,
were described as a boy between 5 and 7.
multiple branches of the government. Sheriff's office.
Investigators have not released confirmed the relationship.
So,
They think it was my neighbors.
Then I said, I want more. Can you tell me the exact
We
amount?
see this all the time.
And we got those the next day. We're talking
I read
millions,
somewhere
millions of dollars.
that she
It's not just Utah. These guys are doing campaigns everywhere there's a proposed increase in power and or babysitting. There's a war going on. I guess a TR war or whatever you want to call it.
Good morning, I'm Megan and Chris. Certainly heartbreaking information coming from Peter County. The way we now learned that literally people dead are 2 adults and 2 children, as you mentioned. That's including a 5 to 7-year-old boy and a 4-month baby. This investigators are still working to see, they say, and that the shooter is also a nonetheless dead. What exactly led up to this violence? Authorities are telling us that it was around 8 p.m. When LAPD officers were called to report a shooting near the home on the 60,200 block of Delia Street in this area.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, if they're doing that, then they don't understand.
Found 4 people dead with gunshot wounds.
Yes,
The
it's
man
not like
were between 35 and 40 years old and his 2 children. All lived in the house. Video was testimony showing the midst of officers swarming the residence. We've blocked up right now. Investigators
Yeah, no, I mean, if you actually, right. So whether or not you want to come and dictate to them or have them not hear you,
suicide in Wisconsin. Seen last night, I believe the victims are family members.
right, it's a dead giveaway.
How likely is America when the rate of AI vis-a-vis China?
That you're either working towards or operating blind in and you're not safe.
That it will be under control of the AI
As quoted by officers.
The factories that make the AI chips are also
Here this morning, in tears.
It's really simple mechanics.
it's more than what controlled by China than China will win.
Police have yet to
More of the
identify
factories that are making the AI chips. You think that will determine it?
updates for
Can
LAPD.
you hear yourself?
And how are we doing versus China on that?
Depends on how much noise there is.
Well, right now,
Maybe that's the other
almost fully advanced AI chip factories, they call them fabs,
What'd you say?
Los Angeles police
are in Taiwan.
And what if China invades
69
Taiwan?
miles away from
Yeah, what happens if China? If China invades Taiwan, what happens
Right, so when
to the world?
you see what's been going on and you have a lot of people in these
Well, if they were to
communities,
invade, then they have to,
when they are acting
the world would be cut off.
and doing what they're doing, it's a dead giveaway to people who are aware, and that's been very scary to a lot of us and other private investigators for a long time. It's really sad how many good people we've lost who have killed themselves or disappeared because of the psychotic, nasty fucking druggies around here. Committing a lot of fraud and protecting some pretty sick shit when you actually see what's going on. Yeah, I know. It's hard for a lot of people to comprehend. Oh, we tell you that. It's so sad, too. A lot of Frank and Marie Barone's playing stupid. And really, they just don't get it. Yeah, and they think, oh, if that were true, somebody else would do something about it. Or they can't, and either way, they don't got to acknowledge it and carry on in their demented worlds. Go ahead, that's why we're trying to tell people. They'll take it to their fucking deathbed. Yeah, people need to wake the fuck up.
The whole family taking everybody. Take the whole family, take yourself out. Wait, everybody out. The kids and everybody. Give everybody.
We've got a pretty effective army still.
What?
But I guess
On that
misery
one?
loves
I
company.
don't know.
Basically saying if
Want
China
everybody to
takes
shut their
Taiwan,
mouth.
Free Lives guy, and Ruben's
This
one
one, I don't know
of
if you
them.
guys heard about this. It was actually
Oh,
brought
and
up.
he's listening in on
So I chicken
we're
man
talking
blew
about
up his own house.
triple homicide,
Officer
manhunt,
and
four dead in Cali home.
and that's what
I think he left like a.
that's what
I don't know when it happened. He's live right now covering it, so I don't know if it's something that happened today,
About
yesterday.
excessive spending.
Whoa! Trump and what he is doing in the military and what happened with
Excessive
Iran and
spending.
No idea. You could look
Okay,
it
let's
up.
leave that there.
It's just a couple lives we have running.
I don't know what it is with these people. It's like have they never faced
I have no idea. We'll just take random lives. Sometimes we don't even know who they are, but sometimes it's just a way for us to send some of the state workers and other psychos here in this community. The psycho one. There's a lot of good ones.
Remember
So if you say
that
Democrat
2024 debate
or
against Trump that
Catholic.
didn't go very well? Well, apparently she thought that Joe had a stroke during the debate.
American. Hey, some are crazy, some aren't. Some are psycho, some aren't. So we're talking about the psycho ones. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. We'll open up our lives and
Maybe
speak through that.
Maybe.
Yeah, we like to have different subject matter too.
Never since.
And now you realize
Never
It opens it
honey,
up
you
so
gotta
it
stop
it
spending
doesn't
like
look
this shit is
total.
crazy. I'm
total
I don't
kidding
know what
myself.
happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God,
Yeah, that's how it is in those
And
kind of
it's
worlds.
scared me to death.
The popular jewelries, bangles, whatever you call that stuff.
I don't
Honey, you gotta chill.
Oh, I call Gabby.
That's when she's like, you know what?
Right,
Our
anything
money's
seems
right now. We're
confusing,
more
like it
stress.
don't make
Take for the rest of it.
And then when you're dealing with other undercover operations,
I don't know how to describe
and a lot of people who think they're doing undercover operations, you have all these psychos, I've seen them driving around, thinking they work for
Tonight, the
somebody,
latest on a deadly house explosion just north of Grand Rapids.
targeting different people. I know, and
That
it's true.
belief that initially been
We've shown you that in all the channels dedicated to like the
pretty much all you did that.
chasing different crimes, dog kickers, non-vaxxers, bullies. Boy, these have been concerns and businesses for a long time.
She's still alive.
You may remember this right after
They wrote the
she
movie
went back and
Dark
celebrate how
Side,
great
those
he
kind
did
of
after that
crimes and scams.
abject disaster.
Yeah, there's just different
And this was
levels.
just a gem out of jail.
So you have individual crimes, business orgs, chop shops, and what are you
Couple have
talking
been married for
about?
nearly 40
So
years.
we're trying to tell for specific children in specific communities in the custody of specific sick fucks being protected by specific pill-headed, alcoholic, psycho citizens. It's really simple. We're not saying all teachers, all doctors, all state workers. Very specific people that we're calling out, motherfucker.
Great.
Right.
Go sit down, okay? Like if I talk to him like that, people would say, "What's wrong with these people?" Like,
Crash out.
and then the thing is that, of course, as you guys know,
Who were
it
you
was then
listening
that
to?
night where the airlock broke suddenly.
Also
He
mentioned
planned
All
that
of us
for
that
how many
for
years?
years, because it was starting
I
before
mean,
Biden's
you
office,
got
was
thinking
something's
it's
rotten
really
in
good.
Town. Suddenly, everybody was like, "Oh my God, there is something wrong here."
I did. It's so yummy.
Right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And that's you, if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever. You know, law school, you know, so long time. In fact, I think
It's so good.
ever been. President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of the complicated geopolitical situation remarkable.
This freaking thing. Whoa!
From him across the table,
Battery's getting low.
walking sometimes.
Yeah, nutty, huh?
They say be sharp meetings and so on. This is well done, very well informed by your state leader. As far as I know, a single claim that Biden made a mistake.
Irritating.
So, guys, again, why did I get all that?
Wow, he said I'm taking out the whole thing. Look at that.
You see how, though, when it goes off and on, like that quick friction point of turning off and on? Yeah, I mean, it just
Literally.
doesn't really do much, does it?
Go to the doctor the next day.
No, I mean, if someone asked why do you keep doing that? There's multiple reasons.
Not that we can do anything about it, it's just that you just know it's nonsense, so that it gives you a little bit of equipment necessary that the next time they throw more nonsense on you.
Yeah, no, we're way past that. I could fucking give two shits. You look like we're here to make friends or impress anybody? No, we're just exposing the fucking truth. You got a fucking problem? You let me know what skill set I need.
Jerry is not Jerry, and he thinks that there are 6 genders, and he thinks he is evil because of his white skin. It's not just him that's evil because of his white skin. He might be evil, but all white people are evil because of their white skin and all that. And the Dems are pushing this back. It's so wild.
Tonight, new information follows their contributions to the community, and now why an expert is saying more needs to be done about domestic violence. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jessica Hartholm. Side between a man and his wife, now identified as Doug and Lucy Preston. You know, Lucy is still in the hospital tonight fighting for her life. News Channel 3's Autumn Fisher joining us live on the scene. And Autumn, you talked to the neighbors today who say that they're friends with the Prestons.
Yes, Jessica, just a day after this explosion, and I've been watching neighbors in this neighborhood pick up shattered glass out of their yards. Now you can see the area was just gated up today for safety. And I spoke with this next door neighbor to where this explosion happened. You can see pieces of the home exploded on his garage. Now, he tells me he feels lucky to be alive.
But also, it's, as all of you know, necessary.
He tells me, police say that the man who did this was his friend and his neighbor, obviously right next door. But he says the day before this all happened, he was mowing his yard just like a normal day. Jerry Lawrence and his wife.
So we are only buying.
Dane's house is damaged. Their windows that are now boarded up shattered when their neighbor's house exploded next to them early Tuesday morning.
I had a picture of that thing above my wife's bed, and it fell down, landed on the pillow half far from her head.
The Orens have lived next door to Lucy and Doug Preston for 30 years. The Preston's house now just a pile of rubble.
I love everything. I just can't believe it.
Investigators say early Tuesday morning, Doug intentionally blew up the home and tried to kill his wife in an attempted murder-suicide. He's died in the explosion, and Lucy is still in the hospital fighting for her life.
Not open. Come on. Yeah, it's like, you got a problem? Can lie for
Warren says Lucy and Doug had a good relationship up until a few months ago. He says Lucy would come over and talk about their marital problems.
I'm running, said everything but a compliment to her, you know. Anything you say would be nasty or swirler or something, and James tolerant, and that's not done either, which really surprised me.
Court records obtained by News Channel 3 show that Lucy filed for divorce in March. Investigators discovered text messages between the two, revealing the situation as domestic violence. The Kent County Sheriff's Office said those exchanges point clearly towards Doug's intentions of committing murder-suicide.
But they're going to try to make this guy start. Exactly what people have said. Look at this.
It's just downright sad.
Right now, Warren's thoughts and prayers are with Lucy, who suffered 4-degree burns and is on a ventilator. You're a rock star.
No, it's just so much
Congressman from El Paso has certainly captured the entire nation's attention as well.
You're a rock star. I'm doing journalism. Can I blow you right now? But the point is, that guy crashed and burned, and that is, may we pray to the Lord. A lot of big churches in Texas pray to the big man that this guy loses. I just don't understand how these super Democrats are going to go down, but obviously there's just, they're looking at numbers and they're saying, we're going all in this guy, and maybe we can zombify enough people who are the election. It's worth noting that veterans now have process from Texas, basic voting rights, or called power by people. It's such your biggest security badge. Oh my God, it's Beto O'Rourke! Sign my boo! The guy that Tallarico will be running against is Ken Paxton. As I said yesterday, Ken, he's not the most enigmatic guy. You know, I think he'll probably be just fine. It doesn't even matter. It's just not a bananas left. However, you can put out a
This is Texas. This is not. There are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are 6. This is Texas. This is not. The American flag is such a complicated symbol for most of us. This is Texas. This is not. They're going to call me a radical leftist. This is Texas. This is not.
Something that you love, that's not family or friends.
I love, and I'm just saying this because it's on my mind, the trans children.
This is Texas. This is not.
Our southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front.
This is Texas. This is not.
It is now existential that we try to reduce our meat consumption. I am proud to say that our campaign has officially become a non-meat campaign.
This is Texas. This is not.
It's so freaking yummy.
Better get another whim if you want test, cause it's so thick, it'll make it up a show mess. Hit the spot for the shine on flash. Smash in the city when the rhyme on blast. Dash to the cooler for the ice, for the splash, with a slick rhythm that'll make you wind your ass. Better stretch before you even hit a beat drop. Heat drops when you feel it, your knees pop. Tennessee, watch it grow into a clean stalk. Go ahead and hit your honey with a little sweet talk. Clean loving in this PC, your good shirt. Down the floor, a little steam for the good work. Got you doing every move, your body good work. Probably cut a hole in the road from the footwork. Stop your feet, solitary drop. No relief from the thirst of the drought. So parched till your skin starts to crack on your mouth. Sun beating on your neck, not a shadow of a doubt. I know there used to be fish here, not somewhere at the source, none of the water seems to get here. The rainy season missed this year. Every drop into a drum with the overbearing fear. When the riverbed is barren, dust devils start to fly. Look up, it's not a solitary cloud in the sky. Sun gleaming till you need to seek protection for your eyes. The livestock sick, the crops start to die. Wildfires breaking, there's no water to extinguish. Taking over this not to relinquish.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna have enough battery to do that. Well, we can try. I wasn't gonna do that till later, but yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly.
They don't ever offer voters an alternative vision for what they would like us to do with the criminal illegal aliens who are being processed for removal from this country. You know, you think about Cory Booker, his answer is, well, we should just shut down this facility. Okay, then what do we do with the illegal aliens who are charged with crimes against this country and against our communities, including one, by the way, who just last month,
Psychos reporting on psychos.
He was just charged with armed robbery. What should we do with him, Senator Booker, if not keep him there? And of course, their answer is that they want these people on our streets. They want them in our neighborhoods, but they can't say that out loud. So this is
they don't get it. I don't think they get it, and they just fucking report useless bullshit over and over again, day after day. They're just a bunch of paid fucking puppets. They make a lot of money to promote fear propaganda. It's a bunch of fucking nasty bullshit, if you ask me. Oh my goodness. The temperature is really beautiful. Yes, I can smell. Oh, those flowers smell so strong. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Alright, yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of reading. Oh, no, instead I put Junior Mints in it. It's so yummy. Yeah, it's really good. Junior Mint protein shake. Yes. Going on the menu. I think that's one of the favorite ones I've made out of all the different kinds. Yeah, usually strawberry and blueberry is good, so I didn't put any strawberry or blueberry in this one. I wanted to see what it tasted like with just the Junior Mints in it and the protein shake. This one I used soy milk. I don't know, maybe I might have to move that because I didn't want that in direct sunlight. Probably be okay. I'll read a little bit. Yeah, we're on section 8, page 53, Early Days in America. Page 53, section 8. Am I dawdling? Smelling the flowers. Alright, section 8. Finally, there remains to be mentioned a certain stream of colonial literature which resulted from a conscious effort to produce literature in the narrower sense, to emulate certain European models, which in colonial eyes seem to stand for literature as art. For this kind of effort
America was not then, and was not to be for many years to come, a congenial country. The results then, with a few exceptions, are worthy of notice, chiefly as the rude efforts of the pioneers of a better era. Probably few men who would have written great poetry anywhere came to America in colonial times, and yet Virginia for some years was the home of such a poet as George Sandys, who found it possible to obey the injunction of his friend Drayton and continue there his translation of Ovid with no diminution of its excellent quality. In the next century, just before the outbreak of the Revolution, many voices were heard tuned to European measures. Young Philadelphians and others were singing pastoral songs, echoes of a worn-out tradition, or chanting with the new romantic poets of England the praise of nature, often, however, with more than a little admixture of Denham, Pomfret, Pope, and Goldsmith. Young Thomas Godfrey was writing his exercises in imitation of Saussure and the Elizabethans. A young gentleman of Virginia, who had once been a student at Oxford, had some time since written verses excellent for that day, and particularly remarkable for their intelligent rating of English drama. But perhaps the most memorable verse of the whole colonial period was that written almost a century earlier by Anne Bradstreet, who followed her husband in his removals from town to town in the pioneer days of Massachusetts Bay, but who had in her girlhood imbibed, no doubt, something more than an ordinary taste for literature from her training in the household of the Earl of Lincoln, where her father was steward. The 10th Muse, 1650, contained verses well enough for the time, stilted rhymes on the 4 elements, the 4 humors, the 4 ages of man, the 4 seasons, and the 4 monarchies, rhymes deeply marked by Anne Bradstreet's admiration for Sylvester's du Bart's, and by her reading of the authors, particularly Sir Walter Raleigh. But decidedly her finest work was the posthumously published poem called Contemplations, which in many of its lines suggests the mood of romantic reverie to be met with so often in much later poets. This is the mood of her first stanza. Sometime now past in the autumnal tide, with Phoebus wanted but 1 hour to bed, the trees all richly clad, yet void of pride, were gilded over by his rich golden head. Their leaves and fruits seemed painted, but was true, of green, of red, of yellow, mixed hue. Rapt were my scenes at this delectable view. But contemplation of nature quickly results in a search for moral and religious lessons. Struck by the Creator's glory has exemplified by objects on every hand, she is moved by a desire to praise him in song. Silent alone, where none or saw or heard, in the pathless paths I led my wandering feet, My humble eyes to lofty skies I reared, to sing some song my mazed muse thought meet. My great creator I would magnify, that nature had thus decked liberally. But and again, my imbecility. Imbecile. That's a good word. Imbecile. I'll put that on the crossword, the insult crossword. Yeah, someone's doing a crossword with a bunch of kind of old coined insults like yellow belly. So I thought imbecile was a good one. My imbecility. In the following stanzas, the poet yields to a fanciful mood, enjoying the sensation of being infinitely old as she imagines herself surveying the earliest epoch of human history. But the recollection of the biblical story of the fall of man sends her Puritan mind off on an inventory of the present miserable estate of sinful man. Led back again from her gloomy brooding by the charm of the meanest things in nature, she once more yields herself so successfully to the charm of nature that for whole stanzas together she keeps clear of didacticism, thank you. Didactism. It's D-I-D. No, it's D-I-D. Clear of D-I-D-A-C-T-I-C-I-S-M. Didacticism. She debates in verse, a little suggestive of Spenser's charm, her preference for wood or river. Preference. Under the cooling shadow of a stately elm, close state I by a godly river's side, where gliding streams the rocks did overwhelm, a lonely place with pleasures dignified. I once that loved the shady woods so well, now thought the rivers did the trees excel, and if the sun would ever shine, there would I dwell. And she is at her best in a series of stanzas on fish and birds, especially in what she says of the nightingale, a name that she probably applied to some New England bird with which she was actually acquainted. Now, how the wantons frisk to taste the air, then the colder bottom straight they dive. Eftsoon, E-F-T-S-O-O-N, Eftsoon to Neptune's glassy hall repair, to see what trade they great ones there do drive, who forage over the spacious sea-green field, and take the trembling prey before it yield, whose armor is their scales, their spreading fins their shield. While musing thus with contemplation fed, and 1,000 fancies buzzing in my brain, the sweet-tongued Philomel perched o'er my head, and chanted forth a most melodious strain, which wrapped me so with wonder and delight, I judged my hearing better than my sight, and wished me wings with her a while to take my flight. "O merry bird," said I, "that fears no snares, that neither toils nor hoards up in thy barn, feels no sad thoughts, no curcurating cares, cruciating, 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 thank you, feels no sad thoughts, nor cruciating cares, to gain more good, or shun what might the harm thy clothes never wear, or shun what might the harm thy clothes never wear. Thy meat is everywhere, thy bed a bough, thy drink the water clear, reminds not what is past, nor what's to come dost fear. The dawning morn with songs thou dost prevent, sets 100 notes onto thy feathered crew, so each one turns his pretty instrument, and warbling out the old, warbling, warbling, it's warbling out the old, begin anew, and thus they pass their youth and summer season, then follow thee into a better region, where winter's never felt by that sweet airy legion. Much of this sounds like at least a faint prophecy of the great romantic poets, with suggestions of Coleridge and of Keats in particular, suggesting one scarcely expects to find in a pioneer colonial poet. Like a true Puritan, however, Anne Bradstreet turns at the end of her poem to the thought of death, and she fixes her mind in religious mood upon that precious white stone, described in the address of the Spirit to the churches in the book of the Revelation, a symbol for her, no doubt, of election according to the Calvinistic doctrine. Thus the shadow of a harsh creed falls even across this poem, which in a later generation might well have been an expression of simple delight in nature. O time, the fatal rack of mortal things that draws oblivious curtains over kings. Their sumptuous monuments, men know them not. Their names without a record are forgot. Their parts, their ports, their pomps, all laid in the dust. Nor wit, nor gold, nor buildings escape time's rust. But he whose name is graved in the white stone shall last and shine when all of these are gone. R.L. Rusk, R-U-S-K. That ends that section. The next section is titled Jonathan Edwards, page 57. So yes, since this section is finished, we will now do the German mind. Yep, the next section we have in that one, you're correct. Good job remembering that. You have it written down, it's your job to remind me? Okay, thank you. It's not really a job, it's just a hobby. Yeah. Heard that. I feel ya. You know, I can relate. I am in love with Junior Mint protein shake. It's so good. Beautiful, isn't it? Temperature, it's gorgeous. You can feel like warm and cool air in the breeze. You can smell the flowers. There goes the battery. The battery's dying. We finished that section of our book. Taking the last sip of our protein shake. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna go inside. Who knows what's gonna happen after that? I might color. Probably do some stretches. A little bit of cleaning. You're welcome. Yes, thank you so much. I sure hope so. Alright, yeah, we're gonna do more reading later, probably for sure. Planning on it. Alright, thank you. Yes, you're welcome. Just had to send out 5 kisses of death. Here's another one. It's one to grow on. Mwah! Death be with you. Thank you. Also with you. Anyways. Is it still running? Oh, I thought for sure the battery would have killed it by now. It's still rolling. I'm just gonna hit the stop button, okay? Alright. I'll see you on the flip side. Well, I know you guys are still going to be with me. It's just when we hit stop over here, that's the end of the ones that we post. So who's ever listening on those channels? Yeah, so if you have the capabilities of listening in on the other channels, then you'll still be with us. It's a continuum. Mwah.